Case Summary. Ermogenous v. Greek Orthodox Community of SA Inc. is a landmark case in Australian contract law that revolves around the enforceability of agreements in social and religious contexts. The High Court of Australia had to decide whether an employment agreement between Archbishop Stylianos Ermogenous and the Greek Orthodox Community of South Australia, GOXA, was intended to create legal relations and thus whether it was enforceable. Background facts. Claimant, Archbishop Stylianos Ermogenous. Defendant, Greek Orthodox Community of South Australia Inc. GOXA. Facts. Archbishop Stylianos Ermogenous was appointed as the head of the Greek Orthodox Church in South Australia in 1970. Over the years, Ermogenous claimed he had not been paid entitlements for annual leave and long service leave, which he argued he was owed based on an employment agreement with the GOCSA. The GOCSA, however, contended that no legally enforceable contract existed as the relationship was one of a religious and social nature rather than a commercial one. Argument. Claimant's argument. Ermogenous argued that there was a clear employment relationship supported by evidence of a formal agreement and that he was entitled to the claimed benefits under standard employment law provisions. He maintained that his role, while religious, also had substantial administrative and organizational responsibilities typical of an employment relationship. Defendant's argument. The GOCSA argued that the arrangement was primarily religious and social, lacking the intention to create legal relations necessary for a binding contract. They posited that any agreements made were in the context of spiritual duties and community service rather than a legal employment framework. Final outcome and law justification. Outcome. The High Court ruled in favor of Ermogenous, deciding that the agreement did indeed have the necessary intention to create legal relations, making it enforceable. Law justification. The key issue was whether the agreement between Ermogenous and the GOCSA intended to create legal relations, a fundamental requirement for contract enforceability. The High Court clarified that the presumption against intention to create legal relations in social and domestic agreements did not automatically extend to all religious or social arrangements. They emphasized that each case must be assessed based on its specific context and facts. In Ermogenous, the court found sufficient evidence that both parties intended their agreement to be legally binding, noting the formal nature of the negotiations and the significant administrative duties performed by Ermogenous. The decision underscored that religious roles could have contractual elements warranting legal recognition, especially when they entail structured and formalized agreements akin to standard employment. Key concept. Implications. This case highlights the importance of assessing the intention to create legal relations on a case-by-case basis, particularly in contexts where social, religious, or domestic arrangements are involved. It underscores that formalized agreements, even within religious institutions, can constitute legally binding contracts if there is clear intent and structure. Key learnings. 1. The necessity to prove the intention to create legal relations for contract enforceability. 2. Religious or social contexts do not inherently preclude the formation of legally binding agreements. 3. The significance of formal negotiations and structured agreements in establishing contractual obligations. The Ermogenous case serves as a precedent in understanding how courts navigate the nuances of intention in various relational contexts, reinforcing that even seemingly non-commercial relationships can result in enforceable legal obligations when the parties' intentions are clear and formalized.